Right.
Transition. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of our work in progress.
Wow, this is so exciting. Our work in progress. We have our first guest, which is really
Oh, is that where I
exciting.
come in?
Mateo. Yeah, Mateo is
Oh.
not the guest, but Mateo, introduce him.
Okay, so we have our boy Ruh at the mic.
Hi,
Kinda.
guys.
Rahoo.
RuhPhorte, but we're only gonna
There
call him
you
Ruh.
Yeah, no need for more syllables.
Yeah.
go.
So
Yeah, so this is a very exciting point for our work in progress.
yeah.
Very exciting.
Okay.
Yeah, we first of all we want to say happy Pride Month. I know it's like near the end, like it is June 25th right now, but happy Pride Month. And also, since we have our first guest, I just really quickly wanted to tell you guys my idea. So my idea is I was thinking like I was at the airport and I was thinking about like what we could do for a guest that would be really cool. And I was thinking that we could have like a guest sign wall, if you know what I mean. Like my favorite bookshop in the whole world. Like they have authors come in and like talk, and at the end they have them sign their names on the on the wall. And I was thinking that we could do that, but like with a cool font and have our guests like sign their names, and it's like, oh, they were here and it was cool. So yeah, that was me poorly explaining my idea, but yeah, we're very excited to have guests. It's a new thing, and we have secret special guests coming up soon, which is really exciting. Don't
Yeah, you
laugh
can
at
have
me.
you can have my e-signature to put on your billboard.
We
Yeah,
just need you to pick your
Yeah.
favorite font.
I'll
pick a
sign
cool
it.
font.
I'll sign a receipt or something and leave it with
Or
Mateo.
you could do your full signature, like your real one. Like, that'd
Yeah.
be cool.
And then that is how I get things stolen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
It'd be awesome.
Perfect.
Leave your credit card number as well.
And social
We'd love
security
that.
number.
Yeah.
Yeah, that too. Okay.
Okay.
Let us get into our first topic, which is Tanacon.
How was your week, Sheridan?
Oh, I forgot about my week. How was my week? How was your
How's-
week, Mateo?
Okay.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Who am I?
So, yeah, I guess my week was fine. I did my second session of D&D with my friends, and I got totally bodied by a statue.
What?
Oh
It doesn't move. How did you get bodied?
Well, I guess it wasn't a statue. It was a suit of armor that was placed as a statue.
And you got bodied
I
by
got-
a stagnant object.
Yeah, it got up and it slapped me around. We ended up pushing it out of a building though, so
That's murder.
no,
Okay.
no,
My
no.
goodness.
It got up and walked away. We're pretty sure it's coming back for us, but anyway, there's that. There's today's day 2 of SGDQ. Summer games done quick, so but we'll get into that later on.
So meta games.
Yeah. So other than that, I mean, there's not much. I guess working like always. I guess. How was your week? What, Ruh?
Well, my week, I went to a thing called work, and then I made money there.
Wow.
And then I helped set up for my friends and coworkers' 23rd birthday on the 23rd of June.
Oh yeah.
23rd.
Tell-
What a big number.
Tell me about that.
It
That was actually.
it was 23rd on the 23rd, and so all
Golden
week.
birthday.
Yeah. Well, Kobe is the golden birthday. That's tomorrow, or not tomorrow, next
Some-
year. So we set up his party, and it was themed like an Avatar jungle, like the Blue People Avatar. And so he had a
Thank
bunch
you
of
for clarifying.
Yeah, like it's not the last Airbender. And he bought a bunch of props and some paint and a paint gun. And we sprayed all the props with this neon blacklight sensitive paint. And then he set up the whole party so that there was black lights everywhere and everything was just vibrantly glowing, and it was really trippy walking everywhere. It was like, oh wow,
Wow.
I don't remember taking shrooms, but wow, do I feel like it? And now
Wow,
I'm
that's really cool. Oh,
Yes.
now you're here.
here.
Yeah.
In my garage.
That's like less cool. You're not in a garage. Are you in a garage?
With my
No.
Lamborghini. Yes, I am.
You don't have a Lamborghini. Maybe you do. I'm sorry.
You know,
I don't
I
know
don't.
you.
But you know what I do have? Knowledge.
Knowledge. So as far as my week has gone, last Wednesday I went to the Late Late Show with James Corden, and that was really cool.
Oh, that guy. He's like
And-
the he's like the British comedian dude that
Yeah.
sings in cars, I think.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
sung with Paul McCartney.
He's
It's
always
really
on
cool.
trending.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
always on trending on
He
YouTube.
pays to get on.
YouTube loves him.
And then this past weekend I was in Ireland. And
Whoa.
yeah, it was a pretty eventful weekend, or week rather.
Did you have any
And I'm
Guinness?
looking forward to. No, because I don't like it.
Oh,
Yeah, she's
okay.
not a fan of beer.
I see. Are you even old enough to be drinking beer?
In London,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm
Oh, in
turning
London.
20 this year.
What's the age in London?
18.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, okay.
In Europe,
Yeah,
they've
so
got
I'm
some nice
old
drinking laws.
enough.
She's old
Okay.
enough. Not here,
For
but
your current location.
in
Not
London.
there.
yeah.
I don't endorse underage drinking. Let me
Yeah.
just put that out there. Anyway,
Whoop.
let's get into our first topic.
Which is?
I jumped the gun the first time. I'm sorry. Tanacon. So let me just quickly explain, give context. For those of you that don't know what like VidCon is, it's pretty much a convention for people on YouTube, and like you get to go there and meet cool people that you watch on YouTube, you know, that kind of stuff.
Haters.
Yeah.
And this YouTuber girl named Tana Mojo, like, kind of got screwed over by VidCon. They weren't very nice to her, so she was like, hey, I'm gonna have my own convention the same weekend. And she decided this like a month ago, and so she planned this whole convention in a month and like sold free tickets. They were like $1 shipping, but like they were technically free. And then she had VIP tickets, and Shane Dawson was gonna go because like he's friends with Tana, and he
Yeah.
doesn't go to conventions, but he went to the first VidCon, so he was like, oh, I'll go to the first Tanacon, it'll be fun. But if you keep up with the YouTube community, and if you kept up with Tanacon this weekend, oh boy, it was a mess.
Yikes.
And here's why. Let's talk a little bit about it. Let's see. Where do I begin? Basically, what had happened was they booked this hotel that could fit 1,000 people and sold 5,000 tickets. 5,000
Oh my gosh.
tickets.
Oh, because they were
5,000
so cheap.
Because
tickets.
they were free,
They
yeah.
didn't sell them.
How
they
did
gave
they
them
not?
away.
Okay. How did she not sell more tickets if they were free? Actually.
Because I think they like put a cap on how many.
Oh, okay.
And also
but
there was like the
okay.
VIP for like $65.
Okay.
Okay.
So you rent a place that has maximum occupancy of 1,000. Why do you sell
1,000.
5,000 tickets? That's 5 times
That's
more
what
than
everyone's trying to figure out.
yeah.
How do you do that? I guess
yeah.
when you plan with 1 month, then that's what happens.
What I'm
Yeah.
assuming is that they sold the tickets before they had a venue.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's my guess. Also, the first day of Tanacon, supposedly, allegedly, 20,000 people showed up.
What the fuck?
20,000 people.
Oh my gosh.
But if you look at the photos, it does not look like
It is.
20,000 people.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
And like the issue is like 1,000 people could get in. The other 4,000 or possibly 24,000 or whatever, 16,000, who
yeah.
knows, had to stand outside in the sun for 6 hours
Oof.
until it was canceled.
That's yeah.
With no water. So many pictures of like people with sunburn. Most of them like younger girls like bought tickets to this, and
Mhm.
they ended up people who didn't even like the people with the free $1 tickets, like most of them got in, but VIPs who like paid more money to get there couldn't even get in.
Yeah.
And also
wait till
like
next year.
Tana promised like a gift bag for the VIPs that like would cost quadruple the amount of like the price of the ticket that they paid.
So
You know what
$4.
was in that gift bag? Do you want to know what was in the gift bag?
What was in the gift bag?
Like a little phone, like not a pop socket, but like something where you can hold your phone.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Is that it?
One of those,
Okay.
a sticker,
Yes.
and a condom.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. She knows what's up.
That's like
For
what
a
you-
convention
That's hilarious.
for little girls.
Dude,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
hot.
I
Let me
mean,
just say that.
that's
That's like what you buy at CVS just to freak out the cashier.
It's true.
And also like her friends, like after it was like canceled and like had all these, basically it was canceled because of security issues.
Okay.
Because obviously 1,000 people in a place, more than 1,000 people in a place where they could only hold 1,000 people. Like people
Yeah.
were in the little meeting rooms. There were only 7 meeting rooms.
That was the
And-
convention, was the meeting rooms at the hotel?
Yeah, and the hallway, the hotel lobby, and the hallway.
Jeez.
What a
Yeah.
good convention. I mean, I guess that's kind of what SGDQ and AGDQ is, but it's a lot smaller of an event.
Yeah, for sure. And at least those people have been planning like those events for probably more than a month.
Yeah.
Like let's be honest here. She planned this in a month. And Shane Dawson is so upset about this, and he's really like fighting for all these people like to get them refunds because
Oh, really?
you know, he was gonna do a meetup there. And also, right before the event, the VIP people who were promised, like, oh, you get to meet your favorite people, like, not everybody could make it to the meet and greet.
Yeah.
Like, they sold 500 spots, but only 150 could actually go to the meet and greet.
What? Yeah.
Like,
Well-
what kind of, why would you do that?
I know there were like a decent amount of YouTubers that were planning on going, right? It wasn't like just Shane Dawson. Like I think Casey Neistat was also confirmed to go. So like yeah, like bigger YouTubers, like a lot of bigger YouTubers that were planning on going. So it's nuts that like that she tried to do it with only a month and like ended up the way it did. It's not
Here's the catch,
surprising.
though.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the catch with all of the people who are supposed to be there. First of all, a lot of the creators that were supposed to be there had conflicting VidCon times. Like when they were supposed to be at VidCon for like a panel or something,
Mm-hmm.
there were conflicting times. So like if one person's meet and greet at Tanacon was at 3, but they had a panel at VidCon from 3 to 4.
Yeah.
Like impossible. And also a lot of people were announced like, oh, this person's gonna be at Tanacon, and then they're like, no, actually not gonna be there. And it's like, did she not check with any of these people?
Probably not.
Like, I understand this whole thing was just like, oh, VidCon sucks, like they're mean for being mean to me, whatever. Like, you planned it in a month.
Yeah.
Why was
A
VidCon
month.
mean to her?
I mean,
Basically, like, they didn't invite her to be like a featured creator.
That's it.
So she didn't get like the feature creator badge. So whenever she went to VidCon, she got mobbed a bunch of times. And because they didn't give her the featured creator badge, she couldn't go behind the scenes. She had to go through the mobs of people, creating tons of security issues.
yeah, okay, that kind of does
And
suck.
she started her own convention only to be shut down because of security issues.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Lol.
The irony.
I kind of understand the whole like not being put as a featured creator and then getting mobbed. Like that sucks. Like if someone has a big audience that's going to an event like this, then they should be able to
Receive protection.
Exactly, like.
But not the kind that she handed out at her convention.
Yeah, it's like, come on, and it's not even like an issue, as much of an issue for her, but like also other attendees that might get like caught up in the mob that don't even know who she is. Like,
right.
I'm sure there are plenty of smaller creators that have that issue that they probably might give the featured creator. I mean, I guess I don't know too much about VidCon, but
yeah, I'm not really sure how that works either.
Just think of the YouTube comment section showing up in person.
Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah.
Actually.
Like,
and that's what it's like.
You're making all of these people who are in the YouTube comment section, who are already pretty angry because they're in the YouTube comment section. You know how those are.
Yeah.
And you're making them wait in line for 6 hours.
Yeah.
Making them even more angry.
Well, it's just what I see is kind of frustrating is like, you know, Tana has all these fans that decided to go to this convention, and she tried to put it together with so little time. Like, it's very inconsiderate of her to not say anything, like if something was wrong, or like she should have handled it in a way that was a lot more nice to the people that were like. Did you yeah, exactly, transparency. Did you hear about that one like music event that like people were stranded at for like a week?
No.
There was like,
tell me about it.
So there's this one event that happened last year where like it was this big hyped up event. There were a bunch of like Instagram models like that were like promoting it, and like there were, I don't remember, but a couple celebrities were promoting it too. And apparently when they got there, there wasn't any music, like there weren't any like people. They were just like, there's nothing. So, and what ended up happening is there was like a food shortage, and it was on a private island, so people were like living in tents because like there were no shelters, there wasn't enough like places to house people. Like people couldn't leave because it was like I guess there was an issue with the transportation, and so people were like stranded in these like weird like refugee it was Fire Festival. People were stranded in these like refugee like tents for like weeks, or not weeks, probably like a week.
Oh my god!
But with like rationing water and food.
That's horrible.
Yeah, it's people spent like thousands of dollars on these tickets. And like there were like tons of sponsors and stuff. It ended up just totally falling apart.
Little did they know they paid thousands of dollars to be the next stars of Survivor.
Yeah.
Did you hear about Minorama like 4 years ago?
Minorama?
Basically,
no.
Yeah. Basically, this huge it was supposed to be a Minecraft convention.
Minecraft. Okay.
Yeah. It was supposed to be a Minecraft convention, and they sold all of these tickets. And then at one point, they were like, oh, we're having some issues. The event is canceled. Then disappeared. Everyone disappeared. Like, they stopped tweeting and everything. They made bank.
Yeah.
Like, so much money. And I'm sure there were a lot of creators, like Minecraft YouTubers at the time, who were like, yeah, we're going. It's going to be so cool. Because Minecon, didn't Minecon used to be, like, really hard to get into?
Was it? I don't know. I knew it had been in some weird spots, and like it was pretty popular.
Because all the kids that would go would legally have to have parents with them.
Oh, so then each
person kind of counted as 2 tickets.
Yeah, it's true.
It was difficult to get in because of that.
I really wanted to go to Minecon back when it was poppin'.
Oh.
I did.
I don't know if you do.
I used to love Minecraft.
Yeah, I wanted to go to Minecon too. In like junior high.
But like, it's so crazy how people can get scammed like this. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Isn't it like illegal to do stuff like that? Like, yeah. I'm sure there's some kind of regulation against it.
Well, they do it with cryptocurrency.
Yeah, but like these people like were operating on Twitter, and like they had a website, and it probably like went down. So like they were probably using fake names as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
so they probably got away with it.
Unless they got audited. But I guess we would probably have heard that in the news if they got caught.
Yeah.
But that's
And
Yeah.
I was watching pieces of Shane Dawson's live stream the other day talking about Tanacon. He feels like this whole thing was kind of like a scam.
Really?
Like he's talked to Tana and like he's trying, like nobody can figure out why any of this happened. Like canceling it, yeah, security stuff, but like why supposedly 20,000 people showed up, or like why none of the VIPs could get in, like all
Mhm.
that kind of stuff. And so Shane thinks it's a scam, and I hope we find out more. Like, I hope we find out if these people actually get their refunds. Because
Yeah.
if they don't, like, that would be horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible. That'd be awful. And what makes me upset is that they like extended Tanacon like another day
Did they?
because of like, oh, it was canceled. Yeah, this was Sunday, I think. Was this yesterday? I can't remember. No, I think it was Saturday. And the whole day, Tana didn't post on Twitter or Instagram or anything, like apologizing to people or explaining to people what was going on.
Mhm.
But Shane was tweeting and tweeting and tweeting and saying like if they don't get refunded, like he'll help like refund people, which like it's not his mess to clean up.
Yeah.
You
It's
know,
really
like
not.
it's hers. It's Tanacon.
I mean, I think it's nice though because since Shane is friends with her, that he's like on the side of the
Right.
people, because
Oh, definitely. He's such a caring person.
yeah, I mean, and it's nice to hear that he's calling his friend out for possibly scamming her viewers,
Yeah.
so
Standing up for what's right.
exactly, and it's
Standing up for what's right.
not standing behind someone just because you like them, but standing behind the people that are the victims in the situation, that are not getting what they probably need to like get back, you know.
Right? And like people like flew out from like Australia to go to this convention.
Do you think Tana's
And, like-
gonna try and pull another one next year?
Yes.
You do?
Yes, I truly believe it.
She's
I
lost
wouldn't
so
be
much
surprised.
credibility.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised. Here's the thing: I think the fact that if she does end up doing it next year, that since she'll have another year to work on it, she might get some of her credibility back.
Right.
But I mean,
Her whole thing is like, oh, this was a learning experience. Like, I'll do it again next year. It'll be better. Hopefully, it'll be planned better. But, like, I don't believe in the whole thing. Like, people are saying, oh, she's 19. What do you expect? Like, I expect, you know, a convention like she promised.
yeah,
Like, you can't just be like, oh, she's 19. Give her a break. Like, no,
she's only
people spent
19.
real
What?
hard-earned money. She just turned 20, like the other day.
What,
Like yesterday,
dude? I'm
actually.
like her age,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
exactly her age, almost like a month younger. Man,
Yeah,
and I can't be YouTube famous. What is this?
me.
I think you want to be YouTube famous.
Honestly, I thought maybe it would be cool back in like 2012,
Yeah, same.
but like, it's seeing how things are going now. I don't know if I would want to be YouTube famous. I'd want to be
Listen.
in a movie star.
The
know?
only reason why I would want to be YouTube famous is to meet Shane Dawson. You've already met Shane
I
Dawson.
have, yeah.
I wasn't lucky enough to call off work to go. I
Dang.
wish I did. It is my biggest regret of my entire life.
He's
I
great.
regret nothing else but that.
Yeah.
Really, nothing.
You regret nothing
Not-
else.
Actually.
Let's not go into that. Let's brush
Yeah,
past. Let's
next
brush
topic,
past
next
that.
Oh, okay.
Tell me all about SGDQ. What's
Okay.
the tea? Tell
Okay.
me, spill all of the tea. Please.
Okay, so
I
for
want to know. There has to be drama in that
well,
community.
yikes.
Or just tell me all the fun parts. Go.
So the drama in SGDQ is very controversial, so I'm gonna not talk about it.
I can
but-
talk about it.
So
Ooh, yes.
so Summer
We
Games
love a
done
tea
quick.
spiller.
Just to
Two.
lay it out, I guess. So it's
Oh yeah, explain it for the people who don't know what speedrunning is. I don't know what it is, and hopefully I'll find out next week with our super secret guest.
yeah. So
That's a promo. Check us out next week.
yeah. So, basically, twice a year, the organization Games Done Quick holds a week-long marathon to raise or raise money for charity. Usually raising around 2 million. For the past 4 events, anyway, I believe. Usually AGDQ Awesome Games Done Quick held in January, and then Summer Games Done Quick held in June and beginning of July.
Is it January or December?
It's in January. It's beginning of January. Yeah, no. Okay, no. So AGDQ was like beginning of January.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I spent the new year in Illinois.
I thought Josh's run was on like December.
No, it was definitely January because it was because it was AGDQ 2018. So it was at the beginning of the year. Yeah. So
okay.
So anyway, it's held twice a year. The event's held twice a year at hotels in AGDQ is in Virginia and SGDQ is in Minnesota. So currently SGDQ is going on twitch.tv/Games Done Quick if you want to support them.
They're probably like the most viewed thing right now.
Yeah, they're probably being featured on Twitch, so it's not hard to find. But basically, speedrunning is completing a game as fast as possible, and that's using any exploits or glitches that are found in the game most of the time. Depending on the category, like any percent is probably one of the more most common categories for games because it's basically start to finish, beat the game using glitches.
All right. Give us the tea. We want the tea. We're here for the tea.
So
do you say tea because you're in the UK?
No, that is a common internet term.
Because here we say we spill the beans.
No, it's an internet thing. Look it up. It's the Kermit
Spill
meme
the
where
tea.
he's like drinking
Yeah,
the tea.
like drinking the tea.
Well, then it's none of our business.
Well, it's none of our business, but if you spill the tea,
then it's our business?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So
it's our business now.
I don't really think it's that controversial, honestly.
I guess
I don't know what it is. Tell me.
What? I guess that maybe
you're
I don't know.
You're both going back to SGDQ
it's just
after,
super,
so
it's super censored right now because it's gone very businessy. It used to be like, for the community by the community, but now it's like very businessy and corporate, and so they try and filter out as much hate from the chat, so they always have it set to sub mode that started at AGDQ.
Yeah, well, I mean, they also raised a lot of extra money for charity because of the
did they?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
No, at the beginning of the event, at this event, they actually announced that they raised like an extra $60,000 in subs alone for not Doctors Without Borders because that's this event, but
Prevent Cancer
yeah,
Foundation.
Prevent Cancer Foundation. So so yeah, I mean, a lot of people were upset about that. I don't think it was a bad decision by any means.
Because all it is, it's just like people are mad that they don't get to be racist in chat, like
basically,
or like they don't get to make fun of something in chat.
Yeah, the whole thing is like GDQ chat is always very toxic. It's not as bad now that it's sub only, but if you were to look at if you were to look at any kind of previous broadcast with chat on. You see any?
It's bad.
It's bad. Anytime there's like a black runner comes on, the try hard emote is spammed in chat and like that kind of stuff. You know. Speaking of which, Tryhax, the face of Try Hard, is at this event, and I got a picture with him, and that's on my Twitter too. So that's pretty cool. I met Try Hard himself. Try Hard.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so that was cool. Well, and so yeah, it gets they try to censor it a lot. Like, for example, at AGDQ there was there were a few people that were banned from being on stream because they wore hats that resembled MAGA hats, and they weren't. They weren't like they were like video game hats, but they kind of looked like it, and so they like yelled at them to take off the hats on when they were on stream, and then after the stream, like after their run, they got off, and like someone from GDQ went up and said like, "You gotta go," basically.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So I mean they have some issues with that kind of stuff. And that's a little frustrating. But other than that, like, if you're going to the event, it's more to see like the other runners and hang out with the other runners rather than watching the stream, because you can watch the stream live. Like, they have the stream room where there's an audience and you can see that on stream.
Everything set up.
Yeah, no, it's really cool to see like the nice professional setup for the stream and everything like that. But there's also like they have practice rooms and casual rooms and like a Smash, like Super Smash Bros. Tournament rooms.
Games.
Yeah, so
wow. It sounds really cool.
yeah, people from all over the world bring their video game consoles and set them up next to each other, basically playing games in person instead of online.
You go into the casual room, it's just a bunch of guys playing Nintendo games most of the time.
Yeah. We
That's awesome.
earlier in the day, before when we were trying we were just hanging out, we set up our PlayStations and played Jack 2 next to each other.
You hard luck.
Oh
yeah, and then my game crashed. But that's just Jack 2, so.
Oh, what a great game.
Yeah. So, yeah, and so, I guess that's pretty much all the tea there is to spill. I guess I was thinking of something else, but, yeah. So, it's a cool event for speedrunners and people who aren't, like, there's actually like plenty of people here that I've talked to that don't run any games. They're just kind of hanging out, and I think that's really cool, because you know, they're just friends hanging out. But what's really cool is like going into the rooms and seeing like all the TVs and stuff set up, like, because they're like old CRTs, like, because they're older consoles and stuff. And then there's also like HD TVs and stuff like that.
HD television.
Yeah. So yeah, today's day 2 of SGDQ, and it's going until July 1st, and then I get to drive my ass all the way back home.
Yeah. Fun.
Oh my god.
It's like a 6-hour drive.
I get to fly Spirit Airlines home.
Yeah.
Ooh, Spirit Airlines.
Yeah. Sponsor.
Yeah.
Oh.
This is a paid promotion.
They want a sponsor.
Yikes.
This is a paid promotion to not fly Spirit.
To nut.
Oh my god, be quiet. They might be a sponsor.
They might sponsor us in the future.
We're a
Don't
Delta
say anything bad about them.
This is a Delta kind of podcast.
Yeah. No,
Delta?
I hate
Really?
Delta. I hate Delta.
We're a JetBlue kind of
JetBlue. I've
You
never
know who
flown
I
JetBlue.
hate?
What?
United
That's a strong
Airlines.
word.
United?
Untied Airlines.
Untied.
Untied?
Yeah, that's what I
United
call
what?
them.
United.
Why?
Because they lie to you.
Oh.
I know this podcast isn't about airlines. But Untied Airlines lies to you. I was on 3 international flights where they told me that I would be able to plug in my phone. I could not plug in my phone. I was on this plane for 8 hours each,
Nice.
3 times.
Eep.
That's cool.
Yep, they lied to me.
Is that the only reason why you don't like them?
Right.
No, they do other things.
Okay.
Like what?
Like, didn't they kill that dog?
Oh. Yeah.
Who knows?
They did actually.
I've never even heard of this airline company.
So
Really? Do you live in the United States?
yeah.
Untied?
United.
United.
Untied.
I'm
Never
sorry,
heard of it.
I call them Untied Airlines.
Yeah. Well, they killed. They like made them, that like family put their dog in the upper, air, like the
Upper compartment.
yeah, and then it died.
Yep.
Fucking
Wow.
yeah.
That's cool.
And yeah, so it was a puppy. It was like a small dog. It was really
Yeah.
really sad.
They also just came out with this thing saying they're not going to allow any pit bull or pit bull like dogs
That's
on their
fucked up.
airlines.
That is messed
That is
up.
dog racism.
Why? Don't they just keep dogs in cages anyways?
Well, yeah, like
So
why? It's so dumb. Like, okay, the pit bulls having a bad reputation is so fake. Like, it's so old. Like, I cannot. But there's so much positive press going around, like on social media about pit bulls now, that I can't believe that people are still saying like pit bulls are super violent, super aggressive.
Yeah.
Any dog is violent given that environment.
The thing about pit bulls is
Chihuahuas are worse.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
The thing about pit bulls is they're very loyal. They're one of the most loyal dogs, and that's why they can be violent. Is because if they're trained to be like attack dogs, then they're gonna do that until they die because that's what they do. That's just what pit bulls do. They're just loyal to their owners.
Isn't that any dog trained to be an attack dog?
Well, I mean, pit bulls especially. Like any dog can be trained to be an attack dog, but like, yeah. And like I have a pit bull, and he's got the energy that he had when he was a puppy, and he's like 8 years old now. So he's like super sweet, and he's also afraid of everything. So
Oh,
yeah,
that's so cute.
yeah, he's fantastic. He's also a handful because, like I said, he hasn't changed since he was a puppy. Oof.
RuhPhorte,
What?
which conventions have you been to?
TwitchCon and this.
TwitchCon. Tell us about TwitchCon. What's the
Uh,
T? Spell it. Which year did you go?
Okay, well, I went in 2017. It was October, so a couple months ago. Everybody I planned on
recent.
going with kind of dipped out. Like one ended up going to rehab, and then the other just couldn't afford it. And so, I ended up going with one close friend. He was really good, and then another past friend from high school that was kind of a downer the whole time.
Oh my god.
He was last minute.
Hopefully
too.
they don't watch this.
And it's funny because the last minute old friend bought I think he bought the ticket with his friend was signed in on his laptop when he bought the ticket. And so like when he showed his ID at check-in, he got his friend's username on the tag, and he's like, "This isn't my username, but okay." So he's walking around with some random name. Anyways,
Oh my god.
it was interesting. The first day was Friday. It's $180 for the 3-day pass, so I don't know if I'll ever be going again. And
Fair enough.
yeah, it's you show up and it's like, yeah, this is cool, but it's just a bunch of companies that have set up booths that are just trying to get you to sign up for newsletters and sell you stuff.
Mhm.
And you kind of just go there to meet the Twitch streamers who are usually just hanging out in the partner lounge most of the time to not have to deal with people. They kind of just want to hang out with each other, so it's like, okay, great.
That kind of sucks.
So on Friday, the first day, I went by myself because none of the other friends could make it on Friday. And, well, the one friend couldn't make it on Friday, and then the other friend only had a Saturday pass, so he just couldn't go. And I showed up, I was scouting out everything, and then I saw some cool people, and then I was like, alright, cool, time to go home. So then I was trying to walk out, and then I get to the door, and then, like, I'm looking at my phone to get an Uber to ride home, because parking's a nightmare there. And, like, I hear a loud kick on the door, and then it's Tyler One that kicks down the door, and he enters, and he just yells, "What's up, bitches?" And then
Oh my
everybody
God.
just swarms the door, and I'm stuck in between everything, because he was right in front of me yelling, and I'm like, stop! I'm, like, looking down at this angry man.
Oh wait, is he like really short?
Yeah. He's like 5'6" or something.
Taller than me.
Funny.
And it was funny because I was trying to get out, but then this crowd wouldn't let me because they just flooded in through like all the doors, so I couldn't get out.
Oh
But
my
then
goodness.
the mob finally moved to a different area, and then it was all good. I saw what's his name? Ice Poseidon.
Oh, really? He went to TwitchCon?
He did. I
He
don't
got
know.
banned on Twitch.
He did, but he went to TwitchCon. And it was funny because my friend, the one that just had the birthday party last week, or I guess Saturday, that I helped set up for the 23rd and the 23rd,
Yeah,
he
yeah.
works at a bar called Shannon's, which is right next to the Long Beach Convention Center, which is where TwitchCon was at. And so he was telling me about how he had to kick some ugly Persian guy out
Oh my
because the
God.
guy was had a cameraman following him around everywhere, and the customers like didn't really want to be filmed. So he's like, yeah, I had
Oh
to
my
kick out
God.
this ugly Persian dude.
Dude, Ice
And
Poseidon.
it was Ice Poseidon.
Ice Poseidon.
I was like, wait a second,
Oh
was
my
it this
God.
guy? And I showed him a picture. He's like, yeah, why, is he big? I was like, yes.
Yeah, no, he's huge. That's hilarious, though.
Oh
Well,
my
'cause
God.
He said he had a cameraman, so I'm like, okay, he's got to be relatively big
Yeah.
to have a cameraman. So I was like, Persian guy. And I was like, did he have a big nose? He's like, yeah. I was like, what's this
Oh
guy?
my God.
I've watched a couple of his streams. He streams on YouTube now, and
Oh my gosh, he does weird streams.
Yeah,
he
his-
did like some weird sex ed stream where he hired a hooker and he brought her to an apartment and just did things on camera and stream. But it was on like
not
it
a
was,
fan.
it was on Chatterbait or something. He streamed it too. It was really weird.
oh my God.
I think you kind of go a little bit insane when you become internet famous.
Well, I mean, someone like that. It's not like the thing is when he live streams from like noon till like 1 a.m. or something like that. Like that's his life.
Yeah.
And so, when you're live all the time, like unlike a YouTuber who's like uploading videos,
You cut out the.
yeah, he can't cut out like the weird shit. And so it just, yeah. The first stream of his I ever caught, he had like 3 Playboy bunnies like in his apartment with like this like really creepy European guy who kept trying to like kiss the Playboy bunnies,
Nice.
and like Ice was just like trying to
Get him to stop.
not feeding it a little bit for the stream.
Yeah.
And he's a strange guy. It's strange though. He got banned on Twitch because his content is not proper.
Oh my God, that's crazy. I've never heard of that guy before.
Yeah,
Do you want to hear about the after party for TwitchCon?
yeah,
Yes.
yes.
Okay,
Spill
so-
the tea.
Is that just like a segment now? Spill the tea.
I didn't make it up. It's a thing. You're not on the internet enough. You follow
Okay,
too many.
I am on the
speakers.
internet, but I'm on the weird internet.
Yeah, you're not on the normal internet. Get back on the normal internet.
No.
No.
I will send you
Back to 9gag
just
we go.
screenshots.
Back to 9gag.
Let me tell my story, Sheridan.
Do it.
You can tell your story.
Okay, so the TwitchCon was at the Long Beach Convention Center, and then the after party, I believe it was Saturday night. It was.
Wait, how did you get to go to the after party?
If you buy the 3-day pass, you get to go to the after party.
Ah, that's awesome.
So I bought the
Continue.
3-day pass. Oh, maybe that's why it was $180 because I got to go to the party. Anyways, so it was on the Queen Mary in Long Beach, and the Queen Mary, it was October, so they had the Dark Harbor event. It's kind of like Knott's Scary Farm. Like in Knott's Berry Farm in California, they have like scary, spooky stuff. Every ride is converted to like a creepy maze, stuff like that. And so Dark Harbor is like the Queen Mary's take on that. And so Twitch had bought out the entire day for that, just for the Twitch people. And so TwitchCon is over, me and my friends get in the car, and then we show up to the Queen Mary, which was right down the street. And parking was overflowing, so people were cycling in and out. Like, you'd have to like go in, see if there was parking, nothing, go back out, wait in line and try again.
Oh no.
And then the line to get into the event was like out of the ship, out of the venue, out of the parking lot, over the bridge, and back onto the other side where the convention was.
Oof.
Like
Oh
it was
my
a
God.
it was a 2.5 hour wait to get in with like a 3-day pass ticket, but there was also like a partner ticket. But see, the funny part about all this is that I used to work on the Queen Mary, so I still have my old name tag, and so we pull up, and then I have my badge with me because I knew it was going to be there and I knew it was going to be chaotic. And so we're just looking at the line like, oh my gosh. And so the lady at the parking, or at the ticket place where you would buy a ticket for parking, she was like telling us where to go for overflow parking. And then she saw in my hand that I was holding my bag, and she's like, oh, do you work here? I was like, yeah, is there anything you could do for me and my friends? And she like pokes her head up out of my window and looks like left and right to see if anybody's watching her, and she's like, all right, here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna go back there with those guys, and she like flags them down, and then she's like, you're gonna go into the VIP parking. And I'm like, sweet. And there's like 8 cars in VIP parking.
Oh
it was
my
ridiculous.
My God.
And so
You
we
like
roll up.
finessed.
Yeah, and so these guys opened up the gate for us, and we just parked in VIP parking, which was right next to the ship. And I'm like, hell yeah. But then the next obstacle was this 2.5 hour line. And it was 10 p.m. when we showed up, and the event closed at 12. So even if we waited the full line, we still wouldn't have gotten in, because it's like 2.5 hours, it closes at 12, it's 10.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, alright, wait here, I'm gonna see what I can do. So I just go up to one of the security guards next to the gates. I hide my TwitchCon like badge that they give you to enter, and like I have it hidden in my shirt, and I pull out my name tag, and I'm like, I can't find a way to get in. I'm gonna be late for my shift. Do you mind if I walk in this way? And she's like, oh yeah, come on in, come on in. So I get in, no problem, but my friends are still outside, and so I get to go in and I get to see everyone. I check everything out. It's looking cool. I wouldn't say it was worth it, but it was packed. You were shuffling everywhere you went. There were so many next to you no matter what. And by the time we'd got there, they had run out of alcohol. There was so much that had been purchased. Like, they couldn't keep up. This was the most the Queen Mary has ever had to deal with. And so I'm in there, and our idea is to, like, find a drop point where there isn't a security guard, so that I can drop my badge off, and then the next guy can go in and say, hey, I can't find my way in. Can I get in? Please, I'm going to be late for my shift. But you do it with a different guard, of course. Because in the first guard that I asked, she'd be like, okay, well, 3 people are doing this. Something's up. And so I couldn't find a drop point. And so, like, I just came out. I was like, I can't find anywhere, guys. I'm sorry. We probably just have to go home. And then as we're walking, like, I got back out of the event through another security guard. I'm like, hey, can you let me out? I work here and I don't know how to get out. And he's like, oh yeah, come on out. And my friends are waiting right there. And so we're like giving up. And then as we're like walking to the car, we pass by the partner line where only partnered streamers are allowed to enter through. And it's like no line at all. Like you just walk in. And so I'm like, let me try one last thing. And I go up to the guy that's letting people in, and I'm like, listen, dude, I work here. I'm trying to get 2 friends in. It's just 2 of us. It's not a crazy big party. Is there anything you can do to, like, help us out? He's like, man, why don't you just get them in through the employee line? I'm like, what? I don't know where that is. Where's that? And so he's like, it's over there. I'm like, no, that's way backed up. And so, like, he does the exact same thing that the parking girl did, where he like tilts his head left and right. He's like, okay, follow me, and then he lifts up the caution tape, and he's like, okay, go. And we just book it into the partner line, and then we just pass by like 2 hours of line, and then we get to the lady that's right before the security that's checking badges again to make sure nobody hopped over the gate. And so I'm like, oh crap, we gotta make sure that this lady's just as cool. Otherwise, it's over. This is the last line of defense. And so we get up to her, and she's like, badges. And I'm like, listen, the guy back there let us in. I work here. He's just helping us get in. The event's going to be over soon, and we can't wait in that 2-hour line. And so she looks at him. The guy nods from, like, behind us, and she's like, okay. And then we get in on
that is
just,
awesome.
like, just this wave of just, like, nirvana is just upon me as I'm like T-posing for my pat down at security. And then we get in without any partnership needed, and it was insane. And then we go onto the ship. We make our way there after a few mazes, and then I don't know if you guys watch the Melee competitive scene at all or not.
Not really.
There's one announcer guy named D1.
Okay.
And he was so the Grand Hall, I think it's called. I think it's just called the Grand. That's what we called it when I worked there. It was packed. It was like 600 people maximum capacity, and it was like 1,000 people in there easily. And it was a
Oh my
dance
God.
floor. It was crazy. People were going hard. And this melee announcer dude is in the middle of all of it, just lit as hell. And he's got a full bottle of champagne, and some old white lady is in the middle, like, grinding with him. And I'm like, what is happening? And then my friend jumps in and starts dancing too, and it was crazy.
It's crazy.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah, and then we just left, like, shortly after that, because there wasn't much to do.
Did you see any big boy streamers in there?
I just saw the D1 guy. I did see Dr. Disrespect, but he didn't have any of his outfit on, like his mustache or his, like, glasses, so I didn't recognize him at all.
Yeah.
But I noticed him because of how freaking tall he was.
He is...
And so I was like,
massive.
man, that guy's tall. And then, like, my friend was like, that's Dr. Disrespect. I'm like, oh, shit.
Oh my god.
Yeah, no, he's a big guy.
And so that's my TwitchCon adventure.
That's so cool. I want to go to TwitchCon so badly.
Oh,
I've only
really?
been to one convention.
Was it Tanacon?
No, I didn't go to Tanacon. I wasn't a victim of Tanacon. I went to ArcadiaCon,
ArcadiaCon.
which was this really small Minecraft convention in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. I think this was in like 2015. And
2013.
like, this was when like, oh God, what were they called? Like the pack? Not the pack. That sounds wrong. I'll have to ask my roommate what they were.
Was it the Wolf Pack?
Like, no, it was like Bayesian Canadian and like Jerome, Sky Does Minecraft, like when they were all big.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember what their group was called, but like they were there and I got to meet
Oh yeah,
them.
it was
and
called
it was so
Yogscast.
cool. No. But it was really cool, and like they had this like setup where you could stand in line, and then you got called over, and then you got to play on the computers where like
Yeah.
there was this one big survival games like thing where they had the lobby set up and everything. I didn't win, but it was really fun.
Shocker. Yeah, TwitchCon, the main thing, the cool thing at TwitchCon was like the big LAN party that they had set up where you could just
Ooh.
wait in a line and then be seated, choose from plethora of games. And the main game everybody was playing was Overwatch because that was popping at the time.
Poppin'.
And
Yeah.
so I kicked some ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, not gonna lie. I'm gonna brag
Wow.
about me beating up normies in Overwatch.
Did
Oh
you
my god.
did you kill any recognizable names?
No.
No.
No. Because you don't get to log in with your account. You have to, like, it's like client licensed by Blizzard. It's like a PC bang where you don't really play as, like, your character.
That's
you
weird.
play as just an account name that exists.
I guess that makes sense. So people aren't like accidentally leaving their like accounts logged in.
That would be bad.
Yeah.
Plus,
Also,
it would take a long time for all those people to log in.
Yeah.
the entire convention was just a cellular dead zone. It was not fun. So, like, if my friends went off to do something on their own, you had to pay to get on the Wi-Fi. And I'm like, I'm not paying to get on the Wi-Fi. And
Oh my
then,
god.
so yeah, like, you'd have to go outside, leave a voicemail, hope that they get outside to listen to the voicemail or text, and then meet you up somewhere, since you've been waiting to and hoping that they get the message, but you still have to wait there so that they meet you there.
Oh my god, that's crazy. Yeah, I don't remember if I had cell service at the convention I went to. But it was really cool. Like, it wasn't like crowded or anything. They were like, it's really small. Like, there were only a few booths. Like, one of them was merch
Yeah,
for
that's how
Asian
GDQ
Canadian with like a $200 sweatshirt that like nobody could
Jeez.
afford, but
Hell yeah.
everyone was buying it because they were all like 14 years old and like begging their parents to buy it.
That's how they get you.
But
Oh yeah.
They knew that they could get away with that.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh, this $20 sweatshirt is actually marked up 10 times its original price.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it was just really cool because I got to meet like a lot of like streamers that I really look up to. Like, I also got to meet this man. His name was his Twitch is Bacon, like bacon but with a V, and I was really young. I was like 15. No, I wasn't 15 when I went. I was like 16. God, this is more embarrassing. I asked him to go to my homecoming with me.
That's hot.
He said if you pay for the flight, but I couldn't.
And
do
you
that. I was
blew
16.
this opportunity?
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Wow.
I know. He's great. I can't believe like he actually DM'd me back like, a bunch of times. He's such a nice guy. I don't watch his streams though. I hope he doesn't watch this. He doesn't follow me, so.
Can't believe you almost went to homecoming with bacon.
Yeah. Oh my God. Do you know who the
Actual
zombie
bacon.
unicorn is?
I've heard of,
Yes.
yeah.
I met her and like I told her she was like an inspiration to me, and like
I
she
don't think
told
I
me
know
she
her
would
for the
check
reason
out my.
you know her though.
Yeah, I know. This it's been a long time. Yeah, and she told me she would check out my Twitch account. She's really cool. But like I went with my dad to this convention,
Mm-hmm.
and it was really funny because he didn't know anybody, like obviously. But he would like accidentally get into a conversation with like someone who has like 500,000 subscribers, and I'm like, Dad, how are you doing that? You are talking to these people. How?
Ignorance is bliss.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier
Oh,
when
it's
you
just
don't
so
know what's
great.
happening. It was like at IHOP
Yeah.
last night when you were like, oh, by the way, this runner guy is like big in the Zelda community. And I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, okay. Well,
Well-
now I'm chilling with him at 1 a.m. eating pancakes. And
Yeah,
crepes.
and one of the weirdest things too is like these bigger like streamers, these like big personalities, they're just people, you know?
Yes.
They're just normal people. Like he was saying,
They're just people.
we
No,
went
they're
to
not. They're inhuman with their running times.
we went to IHOP last night at like 1 a.m. And
Don't you mean IHOB?
no, actually the waiter was like, "This is IHOP with a P." Like
He wasn't having it.
Don't
It
tell
wasn't.
corporate. Hopefully
Yeah.
they're not watching.
But yeah, and it was just like a group of Ocarina of Time runners as friends, and like Ruh had just flown in, so we Ubered to the IHOP, and we were just gonna drive him back to the hotel and go back to the Airbnb, which is where we are now anyway. Yeah. So and then there's one streamer who is there. He's pretty big and Ocarina. Like he gets like 1,000 at least, I think, per stream viewers. He did I think he did Ocarina of Time blindfolded, like play through the
Oh
game
my
blindfolded.
gosh.
Yeah.
How do you do that?
Well, you can, if you swing your sword, each material has a different sound.
Okay.
So he's got hours and hours of footage of him playing the game with like a pillowcase over his head. So
I think that's where I know his face from.
probably, but like he was just sitting across the table, like I was just sitting next to him. We were eating pancakes and shit. So
Casually.
yeah, casually, and it's like these people are so real and like, you know, they're not just this like huge streamer, you know.
That's why I want to be a streamer, like so badly, like a huge streamer, because then it's like I get to hang out with all these people and like we're just hanging out. Cause
When's the last time you streamed?
don't ask me that question. Listen, I have a Mac here
Streaming right now.
and horrible Wi-Fi.
Yeah,
So-
Welcome to Europe.
her flat doesn't have good internet.
When
but-
I get back to America, which is in
3
a
months.
little bit over a month,
Oh. Okay.
a little bit over a
I was
month,
just guessing.
August 3rd, I
Mhm.
will start streaming for real.
I
It'll be
believe it.
over for everybody.
It'll be over. Everyone's gonna come watch my stream. There'll be no more viewers for anyone else.
They'll all come to me. Just kidding.
Yeah.
Alright, anything else you want to discuss before you wrap it up?
I don't
is it
know.
time to wrap it up? I thought you said an hour.
Oh,
Yeah.
RuhPhorte.
What?
Thank you for being our first guest. It's awesome. It's really exciting for our work in progress. And, you know, this is history for us.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah, no problem.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. You know what?
Never
Cancel
mind.
it.
Cancel.
Cancel it.
We're not posting this
Cancel it.
one.
Oh my gosh.
We should have had somebody else. Mateo, why?
You'll have him
kidding.
next week. His
Yeah.
name is Ezekiel.
Ezekiel. Yeah.
Ezekiel.
Ezekinar.
So next week we'll be talking with my good friend Sikinar.
Are you going to spoil it?
Yeah.
You
Of
spoiled.
course, we have to promo. So
You're right.
so next week we're gonna be talking to my close friend Sikinar, who was originally going to be coming to this event, but ended up having to stay home for
Unforeseen circumstances.
yeah, which is unfortunate.
He's
but
going to explain to me what speedrunning is. And
Yeah.
It's going to be awesome.
I thought we just did that.
well, kinda.
Listen, I have a lot of questions.
Okay. Sicky can definitely get into detail with you.
Yeah, Siki's great.
I'm very excited. It should be. It
And
should be.
he's actually done runs at GDQs before,
Yeah,
so
he-
like he can talk to you about that.
Isn't he a world champ?
He used to
Was
be. He used
washed
to be.
up.
Washed up.
Okay, listen. We'll get into all of this next week.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
All right.
Come
Don't forget.
back. We stream every Monday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So follow
It's
us
cool.
on
It's fun. It's fresh.
on Twitter. We have our anchor link in the description down under the video here. So
Don't forget to also follow RuhPhorte on.
oh yeah, on Twitch and
Yeah, I
Twitter.
have really quality content there.
You know,
Mateo.
he makes the best memes. What?
I forgot I made a whole graphic for this entire stream.
Oh no.
We'll
just-
use it for the YouTube video.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna cut it here. Thank you guys
Yeah.
for stopping by.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. Thanks
Bye,
for being
Chad.
our
for
first
being
guest.
here.
It was great
Bye,
seeing you guys
everybody.
talk, but not talk to you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.